Nate, your this is
I'm at
looking
work.
okay.
Give me 1 second. Something messed up. Alright. Just go ahead and talk. I'll fix it.
You're gonna talk about what?
Mod.
Yeah.
Flare.
Yes.
They started.
Oh, okay. Well, welcome everybody to Seaking Banter. We are in season 1 still, talking about superheroes, and today's topic is going to be the best superhero teams. This will be open forum, so a little back and forth for you tonight, and I will hand it off to the participant.
Oh. Hello. I'm Anthony, and I was invited here. I guess. I don't know what else. What do you want me to say about that?
You don't have to say anything about it in particular.
Oh.
Well, let's just
cool.
get back. Let's just get into it.
Yeah,
First, we have to discuss the parameters of what we're considering superhero teams.
Cool. So I have something about that. I actually have a few points about that. Because when we say teams, I want you to know what I mean when I say team, right?
Yeah.
So for starters, you can't be assigned to it, right? I think that anyone who's assigned or voluntold to be in a group isn't really necessarily a team. It's more like a general workforce, and I guess you could say that it's a workplace team, but that's not a true team in the sense. Like, it has to happen organically. Like, they'd have to be friends, family, colleagues, someone they already respected, and something must have happened for you guys to decide that you want to work together. Not uh as an example, I'll use like Link and Navi, right?
Yeah.
They just it was voluntold go find this dude. So yeah, they formed a bond, but it's not necessarily the same thing, right? So I don't want like preemptive assigned groups. Another thing is no organizations. I do not consider, and this is gonna piss off a few people, I do not consider X-Men, yeah, I said it, the X-Men. I don't consider the Avengers. I don't consider the entire Justice League as a team. They are organizations. It's not the same thing, especially for the X-Men. And if you want, we can get deeper into that. I'm fully prepared for that, especially for certain people who may be in the chat. But I'll leave it at that. No organizations. They have to be teams. And while we're on the numbers game, it has to be more than two. We're not doing a Batman and Robin thing here, right? We're just going to end up naming a bunch of people and their sidekicks if we do that. I want more than, I think that team's more than just the two people, you know?
Give me 1 second.
All right.
While we wait, a quick clarification. When you say the team cannot be an organization, do you mean that it cannot be corporatized? Like, for example, the Justice League has had multiple leaders, so that would be
Pretty
more
much
business
like,
oriented.
yeah, like a team is a group that were formed of their own choice. Yes, there might have been some circumstance that pushed them into it, but it's not oh, you want to be a part of us? Well, we have to go through a process and vote you in. Because you get need the same Avengers, all these other people, they're heroes on their own, but you need to get voted in and proven that you're good enough if you want to be a part of the Justice League or the Avengers or something like that. You see what I'm saying?
Now, I didn't think that we were going to have a disagreement this early, but
Oh.
I disagree with you 100%. Saying that organizations can't be heroic makes no sense to me. That would
I didn't
imply
say they
that,
can't be heroic. I said it doesn't count as a team.
um, again, I don't see that. It doesn't make any sense to me. You can be chosen in a way, or kind of what you just said, and still be a really good team, right?
No, because that's the thing. Frankly, a superhero organization, like, they don't have to like each other. They don't have to get along. They don't even get to choose their jobs. Once you're a part of an organization, they assign you things. If you look at the Justice League TV show, right?
I mean,
There were some people who were, what'd you say?
yeah, right.
Oh. There were some people who were doing their own thing and they were fighting and yada yada yada. And then some Booster Gold and other people were like, "Hey, Batman, what should I do?" "You're on cleanup duty." "But I have powers. I can help this. I can do that." "No, I said you're on cleanup duty because you're in an organization now. That's what you do." Now, yes, in a team, there's probably a leader and you guys agree on these things, but in an organization, that's not really a question. That's a demand.
Now, I understand what you're saying, because even in organizations, teams, there are roles that certain people need to fulfill. However, that doesn't take away from the actual teamwork, especially in a good organization. You would have people teamed up, possibly in a more efficient way, right? Like, okay, these two people's abilities complement each other. And so they would go out and they would work together and do incredibly well. And it doesn't even have to be a very big organization. It can be a small organization. And it doesn't take away from their effectiveness, their teamwork, or their friendship. I can name plenty of examples where an organization pairs up friends, or you can become friends by being teamed up.
Yeah, you can become friends, but it wasn't natural. You were kind of forced your job to do that.
That's another thing.
It's not necessarily the same thing. Like, you can, okay, maybe because you're thinking of this as like subsections of organizations, right? So I'll say no major organization uh, should be counted because it's like, how would you even do that? Like, if we said the Justice League, how is that fit? Like, we would only name the major teams if that was the case, like the major organizations in this entire situation, because smaller teams that only consist of like 5 people or less, because there's a common trope where groups of 5, one being the leader, the heart, the kind one, the dumb one, the smart one. You've seen it, kind of like
Yeah.
a Scooby Doo type crap. But we'd basically just be naming all the major leagues because, of course, their teamwork's going to be better. It's hard to have better teamwork than all of the Shield organization. It's hard to have better teamwork than all of the Justice League. That's not really teamwork as much as it is just general efficiency. They are more efficient, but they're not really a team.
I somewhat see what you're saying, but I can't really agree with you 100%. Sorry about this. This seems like a good opportunity to try out our poll system, but just add, we'll have people vote on whether or not organizations should be included.
Mm. Well, I suppose while you're doing that, um, I have one more stipulation, and is the last one, and that is that they must the whatever this team is must be joined towards the same long-term goal, right? So we're not talking about one time where Joker and Batman had to team up because the planet was going to be blown up, and then next week they're back to killing each other. None of that. We're not doing one-off teams. I mean, like, you know, real teams. Like, you recognize it as a team that has lasted throughout the years and gone through stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So that's pretty much all my as long as it doesn't have those per se, I would fit it into the category, right?
yeah.
As a short aside, while the poll is running, just so you know, Anthony, even if the poll goes in the favor of Gollum, you can still argue for teams that fit under your parameters and use those personal convictions of yours as fuel for towards your argument. Um, because I think it is clear as to the spirit of what you're saying that a ragtag group of full of heart heroes couldn't really live up to a global organization with all the resources, but that shouldn't count them out of the running.
Thank you, moderator. I think I will, because I was going to regardless. But it's
I
good
was
to know I'm
trying to
allowed
set
to.
up the poll, but I can't. If something can go wrong, it will. So, until I can get that fixed, which probably won't be in this stream.
You do it the old-fashioned way. Type one
Yeah,
in the chat if you like it one way, and type two in the chat if you like it the other way.
yep. So if you think we should accept organizations, type 1. If not, type 2. And while they're doing that, I'm not gonna lie. If we don't include organizations, by you can't vote for yourself.
What are you talking about?
You're simply Fumbles douchebites. Like,
No, that's my twin brother, Ganthony.
Let it be known that Virzu22 has voted 3 times, and Gusto Smell is being entirely unhelpful.
Oh, Gusto Smell is a philosopher. You see, he's telling us to bridge the divide between organizations and homestyle teams. That maybe if these homestyle teams actually come together and achieve something greater, then they can be a homestyle organization. You're a genius.
Like a Master Chef's version of a chicken pot pie.
That was a load of bullshit.
Of
Gusto,
course it was, but I'm good at doing that.
Gusto didn't vote. There's 2 for 1. 1 for 2. I'm not counting your own vote.
What? I see how it is. My brother will be displeased.
Yes. Yes, he will. Anyways, let's just kind of treat it on a case by case. If I have an organization, I'll try to make a case for it. Mod,
Okay.
ban simply fumbles from the chat.
Oh, you're gonna ban my brother now? I see how it is. First, you invite me on here, you shoot down my proposals, and then immediately you ban my brother.
Green Queen is not a tie.
Well, either way, we can, you know, get with the list if you won't.
Yeah, the stage is set. Rock, paper, scissors for who goes first.
Flip it to him.
Okay. Call it heads or tails.
Trails.
Tails never fails.
There. Alright, I'll do heads.
It was tails.
Yeah, tails never fails.
Alright. Name your first candidate. And it's not a tie.
You're right, I won. I
I'm
got
not
tails.
counting simply fumbles. That's who I'm debating.
You're lucky I don't have other Twitch accounts. Actually, I think I do. But so I'm gonna start off with a pretty obvious one, and then I'll get to some of the more fishy ones. So I'll start off with the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
I agree.
I mean, they seem like a very obvious pick.
They
Now,
do.
there are other, Power Ranger groups and whatnot, but Mighty Morphin was pretty straightforward. Talked against bullying, good, you know, that straight off of Super Sentai hype, already doing their own thing. They're all friends. They all chose to do this and fight against the uh what was that? Rita Repulsa. That's her name. Her name was Rita Repulsa in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and stopped them from taking over the planet. They defend the planet all the time. When you think of mechs, let's be honest, you think of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. It seems pretty obvious.
Yeah, I don't really have any bad things to say about it. It's on my list as well.
Well, that was easy. Now I'm going to throw you a curveball.
Hold on. It's
Oh,
back and
all right.
forth.
Oh, so that's how that works. All right.
Yes. Just for the chat. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go back and forth, proposing who should be on the list. How many? It's 10. We're going to do a top 10. Not in any particular order.
Okay.
So, Mod,
Why, yes.
Keep track of our top 10, please.
Of course, you don't got to tell me. I got my pen, my paper, and a drive to write.
Dope. So, number 1, Power Rangers.
So
Now,
choose your Pokemon.
here's my rule. And I'm gonna throw you a curveball. Captain Planet.
Captain Planet, the singular guy, but happens to be summoned by 5 rings.
No,
Captain Planet?
it's a team, and the team comes together to summon Captain Planet.
The team prays to Mother Earth so that her son may show up and save everybody. That's not really a. If they're a team, they're not really a team that does anything per se. More
First
of a
things
general
first,
moral lesson.
Captain Planet, or the, what are they called again? Planeteers.
Exactly. You don't even know what the team is called.
Hush. The Planeteers. They count as a team. They have powers besides one. Individually. Before Captain Planet shows, before they summon him, they work together. They all have powers, elemental powers at that. And they actually do things. But if the problem is too big, then they combine their powers to summon Captain Planet.
Isn't it always too big? And
No,
also, I didn't know we were counting cults as teams nowadays.
watch what you say.
I'm just saying, in truth, I don't see them as a team. They're a bunch of children who just give moral lessons on the environment.
Isn't that what the Power Rangers do?
No,
They give moral lessons, occasionally beat up a bad guy, and dance around, and they're all in high school. Just like the
yeah, but we got
Planeteers. If that's the case, we should be able to take Power Rangers off.
no. That's very few similarities. They don't
Few?
just do that; they happen to do that, but they are genuinely trying to stop an outward evil, while the Planeteers are trying to beat a never-ending battle that actually won't stop. They're trying to preach a specific way of living and lifestyle, while the Power Rangers are specifically trying to defeat a 1,000-year-old witch who literally wants to take over the entire planet with her horde of size growing monsters
Knowing the nature
that
of
can destroy
people.
buildings.
Hold on. Knowing the nature of people. The thing you just said in regards to a never-ending battle. The Planeteers' purpose is to stop people from destroying themselves. That's why they don't just beat up bad guys and corporations. They also tell people the ramifications if they don't take care of the earth. Just because you have some ancient alien you're beating up doesn't mean you don't do the exact same thing.
Sir, I would rather put Steve Irwin on this list than them.
Wow.
Because if we're just talking about people who can do animal conservation, then there are far greater heroes than Captain Planet.
Here's the thing. If Steve Irwin had the ability to make earthquakes, I'd put him on the list. But he doesn't.
Yeah.
He's a regular human.
Yeah, aren't their powers only from their rings?
What's your point?
Well, I'm not knocking Green Lantern, but that's different because the ring kind of chose him. But can't someone just hit the child in the back of the head with a baseball bat and take the ring?
The Rainies chose the Planeteers as well.
That's how that works?
Yes,
And it happened to choose all children.
that doesn't matter.
I don't know. If I
Also,
was trying
I'll
to
give you
save the planet, I'd
$5
probably
right
give
here
some.
live if you can tell me the age of each one of the Planeteers.
Mm, I would guess that they're all 16.
That is incorrect.
So
17, 15, 14, and 12.
okay.
Actually, there were two
Oh,
17-year-olds. The fire god was 17. The earth god was 17. The one with heart was 12.
yeah, besides giving, self-help books, which I'm not saying isn't important, we should obviously protect the planet and all that jazz, but pretty much stopping extreme pollution from happening when it occurs and warning people of future extreme pollution, that's honestly not that much. I know that sounds weird, but I mean, you know what I mean?
No,
Like, a superhero saves you from things that you can't control. You are a victim when a superhero saves you or a hero comes and aids you. You can't stop it. But in Captain Planet's case, he's not saving anyone. He's more of a green, or technically he's blue, a blue-skinned, green-haired prophet saying that if you do everything bad, then everything bad will happen. Like, that wasn't something that we didn't know. I think
now,
Captain Planet's cool and his gang, but like,
I'm just saying,
it's not that,
not
like,
long
I don't really
ago,
consider them.
you and Verzu were trying to make a case to me that Jesus was a hero. And
I
now all
didn't.
of a sudden, prophets can't be heroes. Remember that?
Um, to be fair, the Bible does say that prophets can't be heroes. They will be reviled and hated and killed. We're not going to get into biblical text because trust me when I say, yes, prophets are not heroes. They are messengers. And that is what Captain Planet is. He is a messenger. To be a prophet is to prophesy or to declare.
Now hold on for a second before you get too deep into that. In this show, Captain Planet, there are actual bad guys that they actually stop and fight. And to what Verzo was saying over there being messy, they do fight individually, then fight together if the problem is too big.
I don't see it. And frankly, I don't think there's that big of a case for it. Yeah, there's occasional people that are doing this and that and the other that are bad, right? Like when they blatantly did a Captain Pollution or whatever the heck his name was. But like, I don't see it. I'm just gonna end with that.
Hold on for a second.
It's not really a hero.
Everything that
It's not a
Captain
hero
Planet
team. Hero
does,
team.
everything that Captain Planet does You can literally attribute to the Power Rangers. When the problem's too big, they get their big robot to beat it up because they can't do it by themselves. And just because these guys summon a being to fight for them with their powers combined doesn't mean that it is a count all of a sudden, just because he has some blue words at the end.
Yeah, it does. If I summon a dude to go in there and fight that fire, that's that dude fighting that fire. If I summon a vest to put on while I go fight that fire, then if I mess up, I still die in that fire. If that mech blows up, the Power Rangers blow up. If something bad happens, the Power Rangers go down. If Captain Planet goes down, they just need to wait 24 hours and give him a power nap, and then they can summon him again. I have to get a whole new group of individuals and convince them that that's the best color that looks on them and contours to their body, while you just need to wait 24 hours.
So, 24 hours, when the bad guys rampaging, what happens?
The military usually shows up.
How often have you seen the military show up in either show?
In the Power Rangers, I think it's actually happened a couple of times, but they shoot lasers and stuff.
It's never happened.
But moderator, please look up and see how many times someone's tried to fight those giant creatures.
Yeah, do that. Look up how often the military has shown up in the Power Rangers. While we do that, we'll vote in the chat. Keep in mind, we still have a lot to go through.
Yeah, all right. We can go to the next one then.
Go ahead.
I am going to say that the yeah, I'm gonna say that the group from Kingdom Hearts. I'm talking Sora, Donald Duck, Goofy, the three amigos. Mickey kinda counts.
No.
Good argument.
I'm waiting for you to make your case.
Oh. Well, frankly speaking, they are a very, very well coordinated team. At least they are in accordance to any manga I might have read or any storylines that I've seen with them in it. Now, I'm not a Kingdom Hearts connoisseur. I've only played 3 of the games. But I will say this. They are true ride or dies for each other, and they are trying to save many of the realms by sealing them with that key. And if we're talking coordination and efficiency, they have it. When you combo Donald Duck's screams and flailing and all his magic, and then you combo them in the air, and then Goofy comes in and slam dunks him on the ground, you can't beat that.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah, what's up?
What realms are they saving?
That's a good question. I think it's all the I don't know the names of them. Technically, it's the realms that like Disney own, right? So like
In particular, By the way, as far as the Power Rangers thing goes, I couldn't find anything that said the military directly fought alongside the Power Rangers, but they have shown up from time to time for evacuations, or maybe there was a jet plane in the background. So that was pretty weak as far as research goes. But for Kingdom Hearts, they're different worlds, like planets, the same way we have Neptune. They have individual planets where like Winnie the Pooh lives, or like where Neverland is with Peter Pan.
Listen, I just know that there's realms of light and then there's the realm of darkness, and I'm not going to lie. I do not remember 100% of the story because it has been some time, but I will say that if we're talking about teams, I don't see why they can't at least contend for the list.
Another question. You've seen Digimon.
Yeah.
Would you consider them a really good hero team because they're saving the digital world?
That was actually one of the possible contenders on my list. Yes.
You're crazy. First things first.
Wait, does it have to wait? I'm confused. Are we only allowed to talk about people saving our world, or is it in the world that they live in world that they have to save?
It depends. They can save their own world, but it has to be more, right? Kingdom Hearts to me is basically a giant product placement. We just visit different worlds, beat the bad guys in those worlds, and it's incomprehensive. I don't know the story. You don't know the story. Even if I agree that they belong as heroes, I can't in good conscience put them in a top 10 of anything.
I'm just saying, if it's a three-man team, the three amigos out to go and save all these planets with all these people, and they're even helping other heroes along the way. I mean, a group of heroes that help heroes, I would say that just on that principle, they should at least. I'm not saying they need to be number in the top five, but they might squeeze their way to 10.
Saying that they help heroes is a bit of a stretch.
When is
What
saving planets
heroes are they
not?
saving? Aladdin? He's not a
Oh,
hero.
well, they did save Hercules, which happened to be on your last podcast. Wasn't that funny? Man, isn't that crazy? They saved your hero.
Now calm down.
So what's going on? I named you a hero they saved.
Never another one.
Oh, Hercules isn't good enough for you now.
No, I mean two.
Cloud Strife.
Shut
Sorry.
off.
Oh boy.
I just don't see it. It doesn't make any sense. Like, don't get me wrong. I don't think either of us know enough about the games to say that. I'll put it on the list if you could tell me the plot.
Oh, I have a song for that.
I'm not going to hear a whole song. Is it copyrighted?
Yeah, that's I was referencing. What's those guys called? Starbomb.
Oh, Game Grumps. Yeah.
Whatever that. All right, man.
We'll put it on the maybe list. Like, if we can't decide a top 10, we'll probably put them at like 12.
That's for the viewers to decide.
Okay. Viewers vote. Kingdom Hearts, yes or no? 1 yes, 2 no.
Oh, I thought as far as was on. Wait, yeah, never mind. Then again, you haven't heard the other one, so how can they make it like number 12 if we don't hear the rest of them?
I was joking. Joking. I only see one vote. While they vote, I'll give my next one.
All right.
The Powerpuff Girls.
Hmm. I mean, so much crime happens after bedtime.
No,
So
that's just from the song, right? There've been plenty of episodes where they go out at night and still save the day.
I don't know. Some of those episodes are basically just assault, right? They didn't need to do that to Mojo sometimes. He's a monkey.
An evil monkey who can build robots and has destroyed the city too many times.
Listen, it's insured, right? That city's destroyed like every other day. It's like
So fucking what?
it's like New York. No.
That's not how this shit works. If that's the case, almost nobody's a hero.
Sir, I'm messing with you. So in real, yeah. Yeah. Um they have good coordination. They have team callouts and strategies that they do. They practice, they work together. Uh, yeah, they have fights and yeah, they make mistakes, but that's what everyone does. So obviously, there's no real reason for me to disqualify them for that. If you've ever lived with anyone for many years and not fought with them, then they must be in a coma. So I don't see why the Powerpuff Girls wouldn't be on the list, frankly speaking, and they meet the minimum number requirements of higher than two.
Yep.
Uh, I'm going to piggyback on that because my next one would be the one, the only Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
The same thing that you just said about the Powerpuff Girls also applies to the Ninja Turtles. I agree that they belong on the list.
Okay, okay, cool. All right, now that we got the sibling teams out of the way, and again, I am specifically against teams of two, so anyone who likes the Wonder Twins, I don't care about your opinion. So, what's your next one?
Here's one that I think you may agree with. It depends.
Yeah.
The Vampire Hunters from Castlevania.
What?
Specifically, I'm talking about Belmont the Wizard and Alucard.
Um, You talking about
You
Sears?
cannot write in all caps in the chat. FIFA. I think that's her name, or Sifa.
Okay. Yeah, it's
When
Sifa.
it came to their teamwork, the coordination, their ability, they were a phenomenal team, and they saved hundreds of lives by hunting vampires and fighting Dracula.
I agree they're a team, and I agree their coordination was pretty decent, but they're not the type of team that deserves to be on this list. It was a short-term, they only worked together for a short-term goal. I believe that in order to be a true team, you need a long-term goal. Their goal was to kill Dracula, and when they killed Dracula, one of them went off and did his own thing, and the other two, well, they started boinking, so they had to stick together, and that makes them a group of two, which still doesn't meet my requirements.
Had to is a strong word, right? They didn't have to just because they're in a relationship. They could obviously break up.
Yeah, during these old school times when monsters are still roaming the streets after, it's not like all the monsters he unleashed ended. That's why they had to go off and still kill stuff. It's better to travel in groups, anyways,
Also,
especially if you're boinking.
we need to discuss what you mean by long term as short term. Because it didn't take them a week to get to Dracula.
It didn't take them a week, but it wasn't more than a year.
So, in your mind, a team up a year or more is long term.
Uh, yeah, because that's how long it took to do this specific project. It's like if you're trying to repair a car. Now, if you guys took a stupid long time to repair that car, then I might consider you guys a team. But if you repaired that car in like mechanic levels of speed in a couple of months, maybe even less, maybe only like a month, then yeah, I don't really consider you a team. All
I
they did,
actually agree. I
okay.
think that in order for you to be considered a team for the long term, it has to be longer than a year, or at minimum, or at minimum, a permanent fixture, not a team for, like you said, just one goal, and then after that goal, you break up.
All right, cool. We agree on something. High
Yep.
five. Yeah, Verzu, no wizard for you.
I
He
just
hasn't
heard
watched.
him hit his keyboard.
He hasn't. He hasn't watched Seinfeld. I'm old. He hasn't watched Seinfeld. He doesn't know about the soup Nazi guy.
And okay, whose turn's it next? It's yours.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. I'll I'll give you one that's kind of that you might fight me for. Uh, actually, let me give one that the people in the crowd will know and will agree with instead of keep throwing curveballs. Let's do the Sailor Scouts, right? Let's go to the Sailor Moon anime already. Well, we saw it coming. Power Rangers was on there. Sailor Moon has to get there too.
I actually don't agree. And it's actually for one very simple reason.
Why not?
Sailor Moon falls into what I like to call Dragon Ball Z syndrome, where at some point you're relying on the leader, which makes you not a good team. That's why I wouldn't put the Z fighters, because at some point it's just, where's Goku?
Well, that's not necessarily the case. The reason why every team needs a leader is because they bring the full structure together. Everyone's connected around the leader, and once you mentally already assign a leader to something, then that person has to be in the driver's seat. If they're not in the driver's seat, then there's a power vacuum, and no one wants to try to fight for that leadership position because the opposition will end up causing everyone to break up. In Dragon Ball Z specifically, when it comes to where's Goku, this is a matter of power levels. If they're going to fight someone as a group, let's say Cell, they need all the power levels they can get. Because even if they jump him, their combined energy will still be able to wear Cell down, even if he's stronger than most of them, until he loses, which is actually how he lost, because they're doing the Kamehameha wave thing, and then everyone was blasting Cell, draining his energy, and then Vegeta came up, blasted him, drained like a huge chunk of his energy, and then they were able to beat him via that means.
I
Same
feel
thing
like
if Captain America or something like that.
you're mischaracterizing how Cell was defeated. It took Cell little to no effort to take attacks from both Trunks and Krillin. The rest of the people there were decoration. There's 3 people who were
I'm not
actually
gonna
useful in any capacity when it came
make
to
that a,
that fight.
make that a different episode, and I will explain to you how you're wrong. But we're talking about this one, so I'm giving a general example of just because you need a leader to fill in the rest of your weaknesses doesn't mean that you're not a team.
Yeah, but here's the thing, which is why I'm having a hard time justifying the Sailor Scouts. If the leader, okay, like this, if at some point your teammates can leave and the outcome will be the same, you're not a good team. You guys are decoration. You're there for the dances and the frills and maybe to help with random miscellaneous bullshit. But you're not working as a team. You're not fighting as a team. You're not doing combos or coordinating fights. It's just, my blast is the biggest. So I'll stay and you guys watch and give reactions.
From what I know, Sailor Moon, each of these different people, Saturn, Neptune, all the others, Venus, yada yada yada. They were guardians in their past lives, and they were protectors of Moon. So pretty much, she is the lead dancer, and they are backup dancers. But that doesn't mean that their contributions to this isn't important, and it doesn't disqualify you from being a team. Just because you have the person who's the lead singer doesn't mean it's not Maroon 5. just like just because people know Adam Levine's name the most, but they don't know the name of the drummer, the bass guitarist, or anything like that, doesn't mean that they're not contributing to making this amazing music, and that it's not that way.
Anthony, you won me over. You
Cool.
just had to
Let me.
bring Maroon 5 into this.
It was just the only example I thought of, but let me address the chat real quick. Screw the X-Men. Yeah, they are not a team. Half of them come in, eat the food in the fridge, take in other people's stuff, start trouble, and then leave. The only reason the X-Men is even they're not even an organization. It's more like a glorified refugee camp. You have a choice. Either the government gets you because you're a mutant, or you can go to this place that at least gives you an education, room, and board. It's not really a choice. You're really fighting for your life. Half these people don't like each other. They're just struggling to survive every single day. So the X-Men isn't really a organization, if I'm being honest like that, and I would not even get them close to being a team.
Well, here's the thing. I think they are an organization, right? At the minimum, they're a school. Because what they actually do is take in mutants, teach them how to use their powers, and then they can go. So I would say that they're a school.
Well, they can go unless they're dangerous. Do you know how many times Cyclops has killed one of the mutants because he was too dangerous to just let him go on his own. Heck, he would have done the same to Wolverine. But the thing is, he knows Wolverine's like not killable. They get pretty dark in the X-Men. It looks funny in sunshine and rainbows when it's the cartoon, but in the comics, they kill each other quite a bit. Funnily enough, Magneto's group doesn't kill them much. They kill themselves.
That's true, actually.
So we're not getting in the X-Men. All right, that was I just wanted to clarify that. I thought I saw someone complaining about X-Men not being here. All right, I'll go to
Gusto
my next group.
Smell says,
Wait,
what about Kratos, Atreus, and Mimir?
wait, that's your next group?
No, it was from the chat.
Oh. Um,
I don't consider Kratos a hero.
he's not by any means. He literally opened Pandora's box ass fight, caused the entire destruction of everything. Like he's just bad. Just because he decides to run away from all the problems and live in a shed in the woods, who is he helping? Like
That's
Kratos
very
didn't do
true.
crap. Kratos doesn't do crap. He's just alone.
Yeah, he's basically the spirit of vengeance. He destroyed the entire Greek pantheon because one guy crossed them. Badly, I'll admit, but you killed all the gods, almost all of them. And then you run to a different pantheon and start doing the same thing.
I don't even know why he freaking killed Apollo. He didn't deserve that. But let's get back on this. So what's your next person or team?
The Team Titans.
Now, let's be clear. Yeah, we're talking about the new Teen Titans, right? AKA the second generation.
Why?
Um, if my memory serves me correctly, the original Teen Titans was like Robin, Aqualad, Kid Flash, and stuff like that. And I think there's a few others. And they were trying to defeat a specific villain. I think he was named the Twister or something like that. And they were all trying to beat that one guy. And as soon as they beat that one guy, they got into a huge fight and they didn't stay for long. They disbanded and everyone did their own thing. But the new Teen Titans is the group that Raven gathered together to help beat Trigon and stop Trigon's return and stuff like that. And that's where you get, you know, Robin, Kid Flash came back again. Uh, Cyborg, Beast Boy, Donna, Troy was also in there.
I'm talking
Obviously,
about the Teen
13.
Titans that consist of Robin, Starfire, Raven, Cyborg, and Beast Boy. I'm not talking about comic issues. I'm talking about the show.
In great. Well, you think you got that show, huh? How dare you? Give me a second. How dare you?
I don't care.
All right. Well, I would say the new Teen Titans, which includes everyone you mentioned, but it also adds, Wonder Girl, and also Kid Flash, which I guess in the TV show, Kid Flash shows up, right?
If I'm not mistaken, he's a part of Teen Titans East in the TV show.
Yeah, that's the weird thing is that they have like a bunch of little Teen Titans groups instead of just the Teen Titan group. But I will concede Teen Titans, though I will specify that in my purview, it would be the Teen Titans, the new Teen Titans from the comics, and not necessarily just the small group of diminished cast that is the TV show.
Sorry, I got distracted. First Aid, Millionaire, MJ, L, Yvette, Span.
Um,
Yes.
yeah,
For
someone
all our
posted.
viewers, no one click on that. Let's get that deleted immediately.
Yes, they basically posted a link without posting a link, and basically, if you remove that space and then went to that website, it would go to someone else's stream or some random website that might show you something you don't want to see. So, yeah, ban them, smite them.
They have been smited.
Wonderful.
Deus Vult.
Okay, we can make the stipulation that is the new Teen Titans. The new Teen Titans.
Cool, cool. All right, Furious 5 from Kung Fu Panda. That's my next one. They're not gonna tell me those combos weren't awesome. They
Are
were
they
so coordinated.
superheroes?
They're heroes to their place because whenever they need saving, they ask for Kung Fu masters. They
No,
are
no,
the
no, no, no.
superheroes.
I know they're
But
heroes. Are they superheroes?
if you can do, if you can fight like that on a thin rope and punch rocks into dust, I would say so.
There are people
I've
in
seen
real life who can
superhero
do shit like that.
Nate Poe got punched into a crater and he walked off. He walked it off. We're not gonna pretend like they are normal people. They jump like 80 feet in the air.
I mean,
I think they're immune to fall damage.
is everybody in a
As
Chinese kung fu movie a superhero?
as the moderator, I find that it would be in poor taste if I didn't mention the skadoosh as part of this conversation.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
but
I
those are
forgot they
all
have
just
ki
martial
powers.
art techniques.
Yeah, but so is Dragon Ball Z.
Well, not. Well,
They are all techniques.
again, I wasn't gonna put Dragon Ball Z on the list.
Yeah, but I'm not. I'm giving you an example of just because it is something that you can learn doesn't mean that these people aren't extra extraordinary, right? Like Batman was on the super is like up there, and he just has super smarts. You can do a lot of stuff Batman can do, but Batman is Batman for that reason. You can do a lot of these martial arts, but they're the Furious Five.
You're not wrong. Um,
Trained by Shifu. Trained by Oogway, the guy who knows it all, sees it all, and is like one of the only dudes who knows these chi techniques or key techniques.
if you're counting just the Furious Five and not Poe, then I'll agree.
Yeah, I wasn't counting Poe. Screw that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Ew. Sorry. Someone's at the drivers of the break.
Aren't they interchangeable? Or no? Birds of Prey stays as a group. Technically, I could see Birds of Prey.
I'm not even gonna get
But
close to that idea.
wait, who's in the Birds of Prey again?
Harley Quinn.
Never mind. Nope, it's over.
Exactly.
You have to name the others. Harlequin is not a hero by any means. She kills people on the regular. No, she has never reformed before you type that in the chat. If she reforms, it's for a week, and then she goes back to crushing people's heads because she gets a little too mad. She's in a perpetual state of problems.
Yeah.
Anyone who is associated with in a team with Harley Quinn is not doing the right thing.
Here's one that I don't think you were expecting.
Okay.
Gargoyles.
I wouldn't consider, no, I don't count them because they help people kind of, but they just want to be left alone, really.
No, actually, they do fight crime in New York. Fairly regularly. And the same reason you would put the Furious Five. It's the same reason I'd put Gargoyles.
Well, Furious 5 travels all throughout the place, saving people, doing stuff.
Case, though.
Listen, you're jumping the gun, lady. I was gonna put Thundercats on the list. It's on my list.
It's on my list too.
That's the thing. You're skipping. Calm down. We're getting there. But I don't know.
Pretty good though, right?
Well, I don't. I guess they save people in New York, but like,
plus,
what else do they really do?
Before they were trapped in stone, they were similar to knights of a kingdom. They helped the kingdom a lot, and technically died for the kingdom, or at least they thought they died. They ended up cursed in stone for like hundreds, if not like 1,000 years. Then when they came back, sure they wanted to be left alone, but because of the police lady, they ended up doing a lot of helping of New York City.
That's because she seduced the leader. That's not fair.
Life isn't fair, and then you die.
Is it considered moderator? Is it considered a superhero team if you're doing it
for simplicity?
For a woman?
Yes.
Yeah. Like, does that count?
I mean, if it's a common goal.
Forgive.
Sir, the other people's common goal is loyalty. The one leader's goal is to get the woman. Boss, are you
No.
sure? You sure you'll be saving the guy? Listen, man, I'm busy here. Like,
Look, if you make it your goal to save the world, to give some, you're still a hero.
I'm sorry. I don't know if that makes you a hero.
Nah. With
That's
plenty of heroes exist to get the girl. Like a lot.
mm,
Them not
eh,
them
like you can put on a maybe list, but I don't know.
put you in the maybe list.
And it's very like it's only in her district. they they don't go to everywhere in New York and be saving people, even though they can fly.
Well, I don't know how true that is. There's not just a there district. Like you're really shockingly surprised how kind of close knit each district is. In New York, like they can just be not paying attention and go from like Queens to somewhere else. It's not
Well,
like in other states where you have to drive 4 or 5 hours to get to another city.
well, that's the difference between what you're thinking and I'm thinking, right? Because you're thinking New York, the city. I'm talking about New York, the state.
That's what I'm
Like,
saying. They go all over New York State. It's not just like, granted, you're not going to go all the way to Canada, which I think they may have actually done, but they go all over New York.
okay,
But we'll put that on the maybe list.
I'm just saying. I don't think they'll travel from like what's a place I worked. I just did a job for Elmont. Uh, like I don't think they go from Elmont to Brookhaven, right? I think that's a little too far out of their purview. But I think we should obviously. I think we should obviously put Thundercats on. I don't consider this um one of my team's choices. I don't want to waste one of my goes because somebody really was adamant about it. But you know, I
I
guess we're in
agree.
agreement. Thundercats.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
So
moderator,
Yes.
with the addition of Thundercats, how many does that make?
7. And there are 2 on the maybe list.
well, let's get another one out of the way. Fantastic Four.
Let me think about that.
You have to think about the Fantastic Four.
Yeah. Originally, it was also on my list, since
Well,
they're technically family.
well, family's okay.
Well, because they're not an organization, right? If they were a family, they'd be in the same category as, like, the Justice League, which you said you didn't want on the list.
No, they're not that type of organization. There's only four of them.
So,
Yeah, but no one had to audition. They knew each other, and it's not about whether it is or isn't, or if they were or if they weren't. It's what is, and that's it. And right now, what is that you have this group of people that live together, work together, they handle everything together, they save people, they happen to be scientists and do stuff. They are like the definition of team.
No, you're right. Here's the thing. I agree. I tend to think about it. Because Fantastic Four is also on my list.
Well, all right.
So yeah,
So
Fantastic Four. Um, my next one, even though they just said it in the chat, is actually Steven Universe.
all right, now we can talk about Steven Universe.
Okay.
I don't consider Steven Universe a team. They're a begrudging, dysfunctional family at best, whose foundation is built on nothing but lies and greed. Half of them have been
Greed.
tricked into something that they didn't understand.
Couple things.
Pearl was only there because uh, her diamond. Spoiler alert for those who haven't seen it. Pearl was only there because her diamond went there,
Let's go one at a
and
time.
yeah,
Because I don't want it to be quickfire.
all right.
Even though she was originally there for her diamond. Even after she was thought gone, she stayed. And she defended
She
the
stayed.
earth because, hold on, she defended the earth because Pink Diamond loved the earth. Just like what you were saying in regards to, I think it was, Sailor Moon, about loyalty and dedication. If your leader felt some way about a place he was protecting, and you go, even though that person is gone, and protect it anyways, that's a good thing.
They were trying to protect their freedoms more than anything else.
That doesn't
So,
mean that they were not defending Earth, because in
well,
reality, they could have
they're
left.
defend they were defending Pink Diamond. They thought for a very long time, and even after, they still thought that Steven was just Pink Diamond, but they just didn't know when Pink Diamond was gonna burst out or do this or do that.
That's not true.
Why not?
Pink Diamond made it abundantly clear that she was going to disappear, and a new entity was going to come from Steven's birth. They never sat there for who knows how long thinking, okay, she's gonna come back for him, right? Like,
They did.
they did
When
it
Steven
like
was
for
a
like the first couple days, but like not in any recognizable period of time.
Yeah, but in truth, they're still waiting. You have to understand, they're all waiting for Steven, whether he turns into Pink Diamond again or if he turns into something like Pink Diamond. They're waiting for Steven to grow up and be a leader so that they can know what to do next. Because
Yeah,
all they have done is sit stagnant. They're just sitting there. They're refugees from their planet who fought to keep this place off the grid. They got it off the grid, and now they just handle the occasional aftermath of the war that happens. They just want to be left alone. And they're just accountable enough to clean up their mess. but they're hardly a team. For the most part, they all hate each other's guts, but they are all they have, so they stick together begrudgingly until eventually they somewhat hash it out via a song or by Steven being in danger, which is how half of them managed to fuse.
I mean, no, they knew how to fuse instinctively.
No, I
That's
said
actually a feature of
managed.
their race.
Managed to fuse. I didn't say they don't know how to. I said because the first time that Amethyst and Pearl fused, they didn't like each other. They hate each other's guts. But for Steven, they fused. For
Hate each
each
other's
other,
guts is strong.
they wouldn't.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Um, what's the ding, ding, Jesus, BLUE, blue. What's the leader's name in the Ninja Turtles?
Uh, Don. Wait, no. Donnie, Raphael, Leonardo.
Leonardo. Do you think that Leonardo and Raphael hate each other's guts?
No, they're brothers.
Exactly.
Brothers.
No, stop.
Flesh and blood.
Shut up.
Why?
Because I said so. Listen to me for a second.
All right.
Pearl, and Amethyst don't hate each other's guts. They live together. They've been together for hundreds of years. They do not hate each other's guts. They get mad at each other because of their personalities clash, but they don't hate each other. That was the reason they couldn't fuse. It's because their personalities were so different. But when push comes to shove, they can still do it. When their goals are aligned, that was the point. They both wanted to save Steven, so they were able to fuse.
Here's the thing. Steven Universe, like I said, is just a dysfunctional family. Except they're a family by force, and they're all tied together by the heart. There's a common trope of the heart, and every show needs one. It is the reason why people do what they do, and that is Steven. Because every time you see an episode of Steven Universe, you realize that when these people stand next to each other for too long, they don't like each other. Pearl's mad at Steven's dad. Amethyst is mad at Steven's dad too because they used to hang out and yada yada and traumatizing him by showing him images of his dead wife. They all realized Pearl's lying to them and knew stuff without telling them for who knows how many years that
That's
they've been there.
because, listen, they're family, in a way. Whether you want to acknowledge it or not. If you've lived with someone for hundreds of years, you're a family in a way. And families have dysfunction. That was actually the whole point of the show, for the most part, is that it's to showcase family dysfunction. But at the end of the day, if they're in danger, or if the Earth is in danger, they work together and they save the day. That's the point. The level of dysfunction is not even the point of the whole thing, right? Everybody has dysfunction. The Fantastic Four has dysfunction.
Yeah,
I
they
gotta
have
remember everybody on the
general
list,
stats.
but half of them
They
have
have
dysfunction. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles has an insane amount of dysfunction.
actually they're pretty good minus the who gets to be the leader role, but they're teenagers and boys and turtles. And you know how aggressive teenage turtles are.
No,
Know what? They are super aggressive. I once saw a teenage turtle with a Glock one day, and he was wearing a bandana, but I knew it was a phase, so I took him to a church, And after he found Jesus, then he became a pastor. If you don't believe me, then all you need to do is go and play Elden Ring right now. There's a church in Liurnia.
Green Green, you can't spam emotes into the chat.
I don't know how many people played Elden Ring, so I don't know how many people understood the reference I was making.
You're missing the point here. You put 4 smiley faces and it blocked your message. I'm not saying, but you put 4 smiley faces. I can see it. I own the chat.
Listen,
Look, at
they
best,
are not
I'm
a
willing to vote
very
to a vote,
good team.
but they are a good team. They've been working together for hundreds of years. The
They've been getting
coordination,
by for hundreds
I
of
would put
years.
that coordination and ability to work together literally up against the Power Rangers. They're literally the same thing. They can't beat the bad guy, they combine, become big, and beat the bad guys. They're just as much dysfunction as some of the other people on the list. They saved the planet, and they've been doing it for hundreds of years. I'll put it to a vote, but I'm not willing to let go of Steven Universe. Steven Universe.
Go ahead. It's your show. If you strong arm them onto the list, even though they really shouldn't be on it, by all means, put them in there.
We have 2 people's opinions, right? I truly believe they belong, especially based off the criteria that we've been using. You put some of the people on the list that, for some reason, I was like, but they had dysfunction and betrayal and things like that. And I overlooked that to put them on the list. But just because of their family dysfunction, you want them on the list.
It's more like family betrayal on multiple accounts.
They've had family betrayal in the Power Rangers. They've had family betrayal in Sailor Moon. They've had
That's why I
family
said Mighty
betrayal
Morphin.
in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And betrayal's a very strong word. It's more like family lie. So, at best, we'll put it in the maybe section. And we can vote on it at the end.
Okay, there are still 2 slots remaining.
Well, let's fill them. Because I still got people. I got a good list.
I'm gonna level with you.
Yeah.
Because you don't want organizations. I don't have any more people on my list.
Okay, so Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, right? I don't know if they have a team name, but like, come on, right?
I'm gonna say no. And the reason is the same reason you gave a no to Castlevania. Knuckles isn't there all the time. In fact, he's actually rarely there. And then he goes off and does his own thing, which is protect the Master Emerald.
You know, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair. I can't really say anything about that. Uh, the gang, Avatar: Lost Airbender group.
No.
It's because of the time period.
Yep.
But they helped. They stayed together and did stuff after it.
As friends.
And it's not that's the thing. Like, it didn't just end after they did that one thing. They still stayed together and went around solving other issues and other disputes and garnering treaties that had to happen and whatnot as the team. And I mean the core team. I don't mean Zuko. Zuko isn't on Team Avatar. He was a temp.
So who are you saying are the members?
Sokka, Katara, Aang, Toph, Appa, and Momo.
Now, I'll
Those
say
are the
this.
six. I said those are the six because you can't forget Appa and Momo.
Right. Appa and Momo are pets, so they have no choice. They have to stay.
Appa doesn't have to do anything. He
Yes,
stays.
he does.
He stays out of love. They
Sure.
treat those bison like brothers.
Listen,
Don't you
just
say it's
because
a
you
pet?
treat... Listen, I know people who treat their pets better than their children. That doesn't mean they're not pets.
No, it's like an elephant. Elephants are more than just animals. They're different from the other animals, right? Like there's something about elephants.
Also,
Elephants are different.
here's the thing. I don't think they were really a superhero team after they defeated the Fire Nation. They're basically just glorified police officers and mediators. Right? Because that's what Toph did. Toph started kind of a police force, which is why in Legend of Korra, her children were in that same police force. They were basically just big mediators. I wouldn't really call them heroes after that. That's the Avatar's job.
Yeah, it's his responsibility, yes. Now that would get into a whole different argument about what would you consider this responsibility to be innate? Like, do you have to follow this responsibility? If you don't, there are consequences, but do you have to?
That's actually going to be the subject of a different debate that I have
Well,
planned.
that's called a segue, sir. But ignoring that for now, they did stay together for a bit, like a year or two after the fact, helping to. Yes, they were mostly mediators, but superheroing comes in different forms. I think it's strange that you voted for Captain Planet and his group, and these guys are doing the same thing. You got Earth, wind, water, fire, and
Hey, let me ask you a question.
there's no heart group because that's lame.
Did, well, what is Sokka? He's hard.
Sokka is brains. He's actually very smart.
Yeah. Let me ask you a
That's what he
question.
should have done. Love with your heart. Use your head for everything else.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Did Captain Planet make it on the list?
He didn't stop an army from committing genocide.
Answer my question.
No, because he didn't stop an enemy from committing genocide twice. They already did it, so we know they were going to do it. This wasn't a maybe.
It's not a genocide if you miss
ready
one.
to do it. It was a sloppy genocide.
But don't get me wrong, they were a hero team. They were a superhero team. They just didn't meet the criteria.
What do you mean? They meet the criteria well enough.
No, they came together for a single purpose. After that purpose, they became friends, and sure, they could have went on adventures together and solved problems together, like Scooby-Doo. But, unfortunately, like we discussed, with all the other candidates, they don't meet the criteria. As far as I know, they've only gone like one major adventure, but they didn't like go and save more nations. Again, They were just mediators after that, with the occasional outing.
I guess. That's fair.
Do you have anybody else?
To answer the chat, the Green Lantern Corps doesn't count. Because and I'm going down the list. Give me a minute, man. Uh, or I'm going up the list. So the Green Lantern Corps doesn't count because they don't really work together. They're basically just the police force, except they go out in singles because they have superpowered rings, and they own a planet. They're big enough to be considered an organization. Granted, it's an organization that they ask for you to join, Uncle Sam style, but it's still an organization. And well, you're not wrong. I'm still kind of on the whole Avatar thing because, as Verzu said, he's right. Just because the villains were defeated, they still had a goal of the goal wasn't just the Fire Nation. The immediate goal was stop the genocide, but the long-term goal is to make this balance. And they spent their entire lives working together, though they may have separated temporarily in places. They spent their lives working together, continually collaborating with each other to make the world a more peaceful and unified place. The police force obviously helped with that. You obviously saw that Aang was there in important court cases and whatnot. Yes, they eventually had to go back to their tribes because someone has to be, as you said, the mediator, the moderator, something of that nation, and they all had a nation to go to except for Aang, who had to basically remake his nation from scratch. So
Yeah, but here's the
would
thing.
still consider them a team.
They were a team. They were a team, right? If we didn't have the stipulation of time, they could technically make the list. But we're talking about what you said, right? This is your words. There was a time stipulation. And on top of that, you said, oh, they can't just combine for the sake of one goal. And then after that, it's it,
I
right?
said it's a long-term goal, and they still achieve that one long-term
In a
goal.
year.
No, that
You
was a
mean,
short-term objective that had a timestamp on it, but the goal was always to have the Avatar get to the state where he could do Avatar stuff, and they made sure to help him through his entire life cycle.
yeah, you'll know. That's not true, right? Because
Well, through most of it.
I don't even know if that's true, right? You have no evidence for that. There is
Doesn't
comics. There is comics that does talk about them doing adventures afterwards, but not through his entire life up to his death, because Sokka went to go be a general. Toph had the police force. Katara got married to the Avatar. So that's one thing. You had to be there, according to what Jadagnir said about Gorbelos. So it's like, she's basically there because Aang is there. Aang's job was basically the nation's mediator. They weren't literally saving people like superheroes anymore. After they've saved the world, they saved the world from the Fire Nation. Everything was set and done. And then, while he was mediating, sure, if you need help every so often, like, hey man, I really need your help for this. I wouldn't even again, those became situational team ups after that, which we also said wouldn't count. Because again, it's like they were eating, sleeping, and living together. They went off, they did their own shit, then they came back occasionally to help the Avatar with issues. But that was it.
Yeah. Based on this criteria, I'll say fine. Though they are the most impactful not team, or not full-fledged team. They're still a team, they're just not the full-fledged team that we're talking about. Um, Responding to chat, so I think Guardians of the Galaxy is a good one, actually. Thoughts?
I personally just don't like the. Plus, like you said about some other team, their members are interchangeable.
Yeah, I'm not worried. When I don't want something to be interchangeable, I mean, I don't want it swapped super often, you know? Like, if you think about something like the Outsiders comic book,
Yeah,
in the Outsiders, usually Batman and Metamorpho and stuff like that are there, but there's times when two of them are gone and three of them are gone. Like, they keep swapping it. Like, they continually swap it. Like, every 10 comics, there's two people out, two people in. But
yeah,
if something were to happen, like someone got sick or died or something like that, then of course someone to fill in those shoes or in that role is obviously acceptable. Or even if just like things didn't work out the way that life usually doesn't, and then someone had to be replaced, that's fine. But we generally know who the main cast of the Guardians of the Galaxy are, and after 200 comics, if they swap out one person, then I'm like, I still count that.
uh, even if I said yeah, in what you just said, one thing that we've been kind of implying but not saying out loud is a team's iconicness. Don't get me wrong, I think Guardians of the Galaxy is definitely iconic. But are they iconic enough to be put in the top 10?
Depends on how many more I list.
What?
So that depends on the votes and how many more people I list.
How
Because I
many more
still got
people do
more.
you have?
Like four.
Oof. Okay,
I can rapid fire. Some of them you'll say yes immediately.
okay, then. Rapid fire of 4. We only have 2 slots left.
All
So it's
right,
rapid fire of 4.
the Incredibles. They're pretty much the Fantastic Four, just a different universe.
Then no. Only because they're literally a clone.
Just because they're a clone doesn't mean they don't meet the criteria.
Yeah, but that's like putting 2 of the same people on there. Well,
Bless you.
thank you.
Uh, I mean, so. All right. Well, Team Tennyson. So Ben 10, Gwen, their grandpa, and Kevin 11.
Edward,
What?
I agree.
Oh, okay. Yeah, see? Easy.
What's the other
Um,
2?
uh, this is a stretch, actually. And I was going to say the Lilo and Stitch, Jumba, and Pleakley, because they are stopping evil experiments from literally causing mayhem on their planet. I said that one's a bit of a stretch. Technically, it's their fault, but they are reformed, and you know, it is what it is.
Larry, what's the last film?
Uh, I'm looking at my list, and I'm checking it twice, and I'm trying to find out if I already said this before.
Are you doing that? I want to
Yeah,
address what Furl Girl said. The team from Yu Yu Hakusho are not heroes. Well, in a way, Yusuke was. But I feel like they were mainly doing a job. Right? He was a spirit detective. He was hired by Emma to do that job. And in reality, he didn't want to do it. He kind of did it begrudgingly. And the rest of the guys, they were only ever really involved for their own ends. I wouldn't really consider them a superhero team. So what's your last one?
Well, technically, it's two. I just found it, and so one of them is obviously the Fellowship of the Ring. I will
Finally,
continue.
someone said it.
I will continue to vouch for them until I die. If you do not think this fight against evil that did take a long time, years, was not true, then something's wrong with you.
What's the last one?
Similar but different. The Companions of the Hall from the Legends of Drizzt series, written by R.L. Salvador.
I know who they are.
What?
I know what you're talking about.
I was saying the full title because the audience might be curious, Nate. I've golem.
Okay. Dog, if you say my fucking name one more fucking time, we're gonna lose dudes.
I'm gonna need you to calm down and also not correct me when I say stuff. Why do you think I say what I say?
We're not gonna get into an argument about that. Okay.
If that is all, I will list out all the maybes, and you can vie for a decision. Does that sound? Does that
There's
please
one
the
more
court?
spot left, right?
There is one more spot left.
There is, even after the two I just named?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So here's what we're gonna do.
What organizations did you? What's the smallest organization you have?
The smallest, hold on. Technically, the smallest organization would be the Survey Corps from Attack on Titan.
a military though. Does that count?
I mean, kinda.
All right, so I guess we might need to add those maybes after all, unless the chat can give us another group that we haven't named.
Now hold on. Here's what I'll do. We'll list all the maybes and have the chat vote for who they want to be the last maybe. So we picked 1 to 9. We'll let the chat choose 10.
Okay, should we do this in groups of 2? Kind of a tournament knockout style?
Sure.
Okay, the first 2 entrants are Gargoyles and the gang from Steven Universe. 1 in the chat for Gargoyles and 2 for Steven Universe. I'll give it 30 more seconds to get your votes in. It is leaning Gargoyles.
I didn't ban them. I just timed them out.
Okay, Kingdom Hearts, the Sora, Donald, and Goofy, or the Fellowship of the Ring. 1 for Kingdom Hearts, 2 for the Fellowship of the Ring. Finally, Lilo, Stitch, and the Gang, or the Companions of the Hall. 1 for Lilo, Stitch, and the Gang, 2 for the Companions of the Hall.
The companionship of the hall is a D&D adventure group, kinda. It's based on D&D.
Uh, the Companions of the Hall, which I was giving information for that exact reason, is Drizdorn, Wolfgar, son of Beornagar, Caddy Bree, uh, Guinevere, Brunner Battlehammer, and Regis. It's pretty much a group of fantasy people who go around and do adventure stuff that happens to save the realm and protects people. There was a giant war that happened with orcs. Very good read. Highly recommend it. I know. I'm just educating you. It was a New York best time seller. It was very well acclaimed.
Okay, there are 3 entrants remaining. Type 1 in the chat for Gargoyles, 2 in the chat for Lilo, Stitch, and the Gang, or 3 for the Fellowship of the Ring. Okay. Are we ready for the final list?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Tolkien.
We have in the top 10 best superhero groups the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Powerpuff Girls, the Sailor Scouts from Sailor Moon, Generation 2 Teen Titans, the Furious Five from Kung Fu Panda, the Thundercats, the Fantastic Four, Team Tennyson from Ben 10, and finally, the Fellowship of the Ring.
Last but not least, obviously.
Yes,
Definitely not
this
least, in
order
my
is
opinion.
not meant in any particular ranking hierarchy. Well, that's our top 10. Tune in next time, where we will be discussing the top villains. I want to
There we go.
thank Flair for being our moderator. I want to thank Fumbles for being my opponent. And I'd like to thank the viewers for their participation.
Thank you for having me, and see you all next time.
I'll see you guys next time, maybe, when you list out all of Batman's villains.
Batman's villains were differently iconic, but
If we're doing a top 10 on villains, it's all Batman. We're just going to get a list of Batman, people Batman fought. Just X out Condiment Man and crap.
yeah, we'll discuss that.
Like, no one cares about Condiment Man or Catman.
Catman?
Yeah, there's a Catman.
Okay,
Those are his
well,
two dumbest villains, Catman and Condiment King. Oh, and Kite Man. Kite Man is also stupid. All he says is "hell yeah," and he flies a kite.
right.
Yo, who classified that guy as a villain? He ain't doing nothing wrong.
He did try to like break into a building and like murder the Riddler, but he sucked at it. And then from there, he just started, I guess, committing small crimes. He did it, I guess. Like, I don't know why he started committing small crimes. They just kept him as a villain for no reason.
Uh, well, if you're still here, you can go home now. Bye-bye.